The snow was silent until the first gunshot shattered it. He turned and there was his brother, face down, blood soaking into the white. No warning, no orders, just bullets from their own side. That night was supposed to be routine, just another cold patrol at the border, but it turned into a slaughter. He screamed his brother's name, voice raw in the wind. No backup came, no call was answered. Only silence and one man watching from a hill, an officer in black, ice cold. Smirking, that smirk burned itself into his mind. He dropped his weapon, crawled to his brother, and held him as his body went cold. All around them, snow kept falling soft, quiet, cruel. They were soldiers, brothers, loyal, and they were betrayed. Something inside him broke that night. The army didn't protect them, the system didn't care. And the man who ordered the ambush, a decorated general, a hero in the eyes of the public, but not to him. He wasn't a soldier anymore. Not in the way they expected. He became something else. He buried his brother under a nameless stone. No medals, no flag, just one vow: find the man who did this and bring him down. But hunting a general isn't easy. Not when the system is built to protect him, not when the truth is buried under lies. He has no army, no resources, no name, just scars, a burning rage, and the will to tear it all down, brick by brick. And he's just getting started. He came home with dirt on his boots and silence in his eyes. No medals, no welcome parade. Just whispers and pitiful stares in a village they used to call his. Brother a hero, now they barely looked at him. The boy who once dreamed of honor now walked with a limp and shadows under his eyes. He was raised by a mother who taught him to never hit first, and a father who disappeared long ago in a war no one even talks about now. His brother was the strong one, smart, calm, unnatural leader. When they signed up for the army together, it was supposed to be the beginning of everything, but now only one of them had come back. And even that felt like a mistake. He read the official report 5 times. Every word was a lie. Killed during an ambush by unknown insurgents. No mention of the smirk, no mention of the silent retreat, and definitely no mention of the general. The truth was buried deep, and no one wanted to dig, but he did. He started asking questions, quietly, carefully, visiting old comrades, reading files he wasn't supposed to have. Everyone told him to let it go. It won't bring him back, they said. But one night, in a dark alley behind the village canteen, an old friend grabbed his arm, eyes wide, voice low. You're digging in dangerous soil, he whispered. You keep this up, you won't just uncover dirt. You'll get buried in it. He didn't flinch because deep down, that's exactly what he was looking for. He found it buried beneath a loose floorboard, wrapped in cloth, stained with sweat and dust. His brother's logbook, the cover was cracked, pages curled, but inside secrets burned hotter than any fire. One name was written over and over again, General Sohan. Alongside it, a list of illegal weapon drops, fake IDs, altered patrol routes, and a few names circled in red. Every one of them, dead accidents, they said. Friendly fire, but his brother knew better, and now, so did he. His hands shook as he flipped to the final page. It wasn't just one corrupt officer. It was a network, an entire underground chain of deals, blood money, and fake missions, rotting the army from the inside out, and his brother had been trying to expose them. That's why he died, not in battle, but in silence, executed for doing the right thing. He stared at the pages for hours. His chest was heavy, his throat dry. This wasn't justice, it was slaughter. He could report it, send it up the chain, but the chain was already rusted, bent, but he knew what he had to do. He tore out the marked pages, folded them into a small packet, and lit the rest on fire. The flames roared quietly in the night. No more rules, no more waiting. If he wanted truth, he had to take it. If he wanted justice, he had to steal it. And if he wanted to bring down the man who killed his brother, he'd need to stop being a soldier and start becoming a shadow. The army trained him to follow orders, but revenge, that takes something else. He needed to disappear to kill the soldier and become a ghost. He walked into the slums with nothing but grit in his jaw and fire in his chest. A place where ex-soldiers drank away their regrets and mercenaries trained like animals in rusted gyms. No IDs, no rules, just pain. He took beatings that left his ribs cracked, Learning to fight dirty, no forms, no salutes. Just elbows, knees, and survival. He slept on concrete, ate what rats wouldn't touch, and bribed crooked guards for scraps of old military gear. He taught himself to hack ancient radios, decode secure comms, and forge IDs. The scars on his hands told more truth than any badge ever could. Day by day, he built a new body, leaner, quicker, brutal, a version of himself even he didn't recognize. The kind of man the general might hire and never suspect, but the street never sleeps. One night, while heading back from a low-tier sparring match, he took a shortcut through an alley rookie mistake. A figure dropped from the shadows behind him, fast, silent. He turned, ready to fight, but froze. The guy didn't strike. Instead, he tossed a folded photo at his feet. "You're not as invisible as you think," the stranger said, smirking, "and I've got a better way to get you in." Then he vanished into the smoke, leaving only that photo behind. It was a picture of the general's inner circle, and his face was already on the list. His fist tightened around the photo as footsteps echoed behind him. The stranger didn't flinch. He lit a cigarette, exhaled slow, and spoke like he already knew everything. "You want the general? You're not the only one." His name was Madar, an ex-sniper, dead on paper, but very much alive and burning with the same fire. Years ago, the general sold his unit out during a covert op. Only Madar survived. Since then, he's been underground, building something in the dark. "A team, you want justice," Madar said, flicking ash into the wind. "I want revenge." Close enough. He hesitated. This wasn't what he planned. He wanted the truth exposed. Not bodies in the street, but Madar had something he didn't: access, maps, patrol shifts, secret drop points, the stuff that took months to find. Madar had on hand, so he agreed. For now, their first move? A hidden warehouse on the outskirts of the city. A place filled with crates of unmarked drugs, fake uniforms, and forged mission orders, all tied to the general's secret ops. The night of the raid, the sky was quiet. No backup, no mercy. They moved like ghosts, fast, focused. He didn't hesitate. Every punch, every lockpick, every step clean, precise. By dawn, the warehouse was in flames. The files were gone. The supply chain was shattered. And the general? He sat in his private estate miles away, sipping tea, when a guard leaned in and whispered something. His fingers froze on the cup. Someone was out there. And they weren't just looking, they were hunting. The ashes of the warehouse hadn't even cooled. And already, the general sent his monster. Captain Brasher, cold eyes, leather gloves. A voice so calm it made your skin crawl. He wasn't here for answers, he was here to clean up. Villagers were dragged out at dawn, crates smashed. Children screamed as soldiers flipped beds and torched supply sheds. Brasher knelt beside a trembling shopkeeper, smiled, and whispered, "Tell me who did it, or your wife goes missing next." That day, fear returned to the village. And our guy, he saw it all from the shadows. Saw old friends too afraid to speak. Heard rumors that smugglers were disappearing silence before they could snitch. Matters hideout felt different now, tense, whispered arguments. Short food, short tempers. One guy even asked if this revenge plan was still worth it. He didn't answer, but inside, his blood was boiling. This wasn't just about justice anymore. It was about stopping that monster from ever breathing near. Another innocent again, and Brasher, he was getting close. That night, a coded radio message crackled through Matters, comms just static at first. Then a voice, "Your rat's getting sloppy." The line cut, no name, no location. But the meaning was clear. They'd been seen. Their cover wasn't just thin, it was on fire. He tightened his boots, gritted his teeth, and swore to himself, no more mistakes. One wrong move now, and they wouldn't be hunting the general. They'd be running for their lives. Smoke rises, not from a victory, but from failure. The plan had been simple: leak fake intel, trick the general into sending his smugglers to guard a phantom weapons convoy, then catch them in the act. But the general, he didn't bite. Instead, he sent villagers. Old men, teens, women who barely knew how to hold a rifle. When the truck rolled in, the team was locked and loaded. Hidden under the dark trees, fingers on triggers, waiting, and then boom, a blast ripped through the air. Fire swallowed the road, screams followed. Not enemy screams, innocent ones. They'd walked into their own trap. Two of Matter's men didn't make it out. One body was found in pieces. The other ... they never found at all. Our guy stood frozen, face lit by the flames. This wasn't just a miscalculation, he muttered. This was a message the general had known. He'd flipped the script and made them killers in their own story. Back at the hideout, fists slammed into walls, Mater paced like a caged wolf. We hit back tonight, but the MC shook his head. No, that's exactly what he wants. Rage makes. US loud. Loud gets us dead. Silence fell. They weren't just fighting corruption anymore. They were dancing with a man who used people like bait and burned them like kindling. He knew what had to happen next if they wanted to win this war. They needed someone inside the general's ranks. Someone trusted, someone close, a ghost. Behind enemy lines, it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about survival, and the spy hunt had just begun. He shaved his past with the blade, hair gone, scars hidden. Uniform pressed so sharp it could slice skin. He wasn't just wearing the enemy's clothes, he was becoming one of them. Using a forged ID from Madar, he walked straight through the gates of a military supply camp like he belonged. No stutter, no sweat, just steady eyes and quiet nods. For 2 long weeks, he was the perfect soldier, silent, forgettable, obedient. He handed out crates, logged inventory, and kept his head low. But behind that calm mask, he was busy. Each night, he slipped coded messages into cigarette packs. Radio bursts sent through cracks in the static. Tiny flashes of truth passed to Matter's crew one pulse at a time. But the mission wasn't just about maps or weapons anymore. It was about answers. One night, while running a simple cleaning shift, he spotted a hidden panel in the archive room. Behind it, an old drive. He plugged it in, and his heart stopped. There it was, footage of the night his brother died. Raw, grainy, uncut, not an accident, not enemy fire. His brother was executed by men in their own uniforms. Hands trembling, he hit copy. But before the bar could reach 100%, click, the door locked behind him. A voice spoke, cold, familiar. You picked the wrong uniform, rookie. He turned slowly, a shadow moved from the wall. He wasn't alone, the camera kept copying. The seconds ticked louder than his breath. One wrong move, and this uniform might become his coffin, and the footage might never see daylight. Flames roared behind him. Bullets zipped past his head like angry wasps. He didn't look back. The storehouse was burning to the ground, and so was his cover. His uniform scorched, his lungs burning, his leg hit. Blood trickled down, warm and sharp, but he kept running. Past crates, past sirens, past stunned soldiers who didn't know whether to shoot or shout. The whole camp was chaos. He darted into an alley just as a truck screeched around the bend. Get in, it was Matter's crew, barely on time. They pulled him in and sped off, tires screaming against gravel. Back at the safe house, he collapsed, chest heaving, fingers clenched around the stolen footage. But the screen flickered, static. Glitches, half the video was gone, the general's face blurred, cropped. The final seconds? Blacked out, but what mattered was still there. His brother, bound, beaten, begging, a single gunshot. And silence, that wasn't war, that was murder. He slammed his fist on the table. We take this public. Now, Matter's voice was cold. You want headlines, I want results. The room tensed. Truth makes them hide, Mater continued. Fear makes them run. He looked at the tape, then at his fists. Torn between justice and vengeance. Both paths were dangerous, both came with a cost. But he didn't have time to choose slowly. The general was already erasing trails, moving pawns, and if they waited, the next fire might not be theirs to start, it might be the one that ends them. He stood up, jaw tight, then we hit harder. Because now, it wasn't just survival. It was war. The storm hadn't started yet, but the air was already heavy with war. Matter's team struck first, a mountain town, small, isolated, perfect. They locked it down, cut the roads, seized the towers, and then they sent one message across every radio channel. The people demand justice. But justice never scared the general. Instead, he sent something worse. Captain Brasher, cold eyes, sharper orders, and a unit trained to kill before they asked questions. They didn't walk in like soldiers, they rolled in like executioners. Civilians were herded into streets. Kids clung to mothers, snipers perched on rooftops. It wasn't a negotiation, It was a trap, and he was stuck in the middle of it. His hands shook, not from fear, but from rage. The enemy wasn't fighting a war, they were hiding behind the innocent. One wrong move, one stray shot, and another child dies, but Brasher didn't care. And the MC, he'd had enough, no more patience. No more waiting for the right time. That night, as lightning cracked the sky and rain started to fall, he left camp without a word, no backup, just a blade. He slipped through shadows, stepped over broken glass, ducked past guards. Every step forward was a step deeper into enemy lines. And finally he saw him, Brasher, sitting inside a reinforced bunker, calm, confident, but that confidence was about to crack, because tonight he wasn't here to spy or to plan. He was here to end this, and this time, the one being hunted was Brasher. The storm was loud, but not louder than the fists crashing against bone. Brasher moved like a machine, cold, calculated. His punches cracked air. His kicks shook the ground. One swing nearly took the MC's head clean off. But the MC didn't back down. He ducked under a punch, grabbed a loose wire, and yanked sparks flew into Brasher's face. A heartbeat of distraction, that's all he needed. He rolled to the side, kicked dust into Brasher's eyes, and slipped behind a rusted pillar. His chest heaved, arms bruised, blood running down his temple. Brasher growled, "Hiding? Just like your coward brother." The words stabbed deeper than any blade. The MC's hands clenched. He wasn't fighting to win. He was fighting to end it. He slid under Brasher's next swing, wrapped a chain around his neck, and pulled with everything he had. Brasher elbowed him in the ribs hard, but the MC didn't let go. With a roar, he spun Brasher over his shoulder, slamming him into the concrete. The ground cracked beneath the impact. Brasher coughed blood, barely conscious. Then he smiled. "Your brother begged before he died." That was it. The MC's scream echoed off the walls. He pummeled Brasher with everything: rage, grief, fire, blow after blow, until the elite soldier, the general's dog, lay broken and bleeding. As Brasher's breath slowed, he whispered one final name, Jaleem Base, and with that, he passed out cold. The MC stood over him, chest heaving, fists red. This wasn't the end, this was the start, because now he knew where the real war was. Waiting, the map said Jaleem Base, but what they found wasn't a base, it was a monster in steel. Barbed wire stretched for miles, towers lined with snipers. And inside, not soldiers, killers, trained in secret, fed lies, raised to follow. One man, the general. This wasn't about orders anymore, it was a plan, a coup. A new army, hidden within the real one, built from fear, fueled by silence. And now they knew why the MC's brother was killed. He found out too early. He tried to warn them. One teammate whispered, staring at a screen showing drills, boys barely 16, stabbing dummies with no hesitation. The MC didn't blink. This wasn't just revenge, this was war. They couldn't believe the scale. Dozens of trucks, racks of weapons, helicopters ready for launch. A full-blown military takeover waiting for the right moment. If he moves first, Mater said, the whole country burns. Silence hung in the air. Everyone knew they were outnumbered, outgunned, outmatched, but not out of time, not yet. The MC stepped forward, eyes locked on the screen. "If I have to walk into hell to stop him," he raised his fists, steady and sure, "then I'll walk alone." The others stared at him. No more debates, no more waiting. They had one shot, one chance to take down the general before he makes his move, because once this army marches, there's no turning back. He didn't sleep. He didn't speak. He trained in an old, dust-choked facility buried deep in the forest. The team made camp, but he made war. Day 1, his knuckles bled from striking concrete. Day 2, he disarmed live grenades with shaking hands. Day 3, he crawled through broken glass just to feel his limits break. This wasn't training for survival. This was training for victory, explosives, stealth, close-quarter kills. Every breath he took burned with purpose. He rewound his brother's final moments in his head again and again. The screams, the betrayal, the silence, and with every memory, he moved faster, hit harder. Even Madar, the coldest among them, finally said it out loud. He's not fighting for revenge anymore. He's fighting for something bigger. At night, the air turned electric. Code streamed across laptops. Schematics covered every wall. The goal? Infiltrate Jalim, blow the command core, expose the general. They rigged the MPS, rewired drones, and set traps like a pack of ghosts. Every wire, every trigger, every second was war prep. The team watched him, standing shirtless in the cold, steam rising off his back. He didn't flinch, not even when lightning cracked overhead. He had become something else, not a soldier, a reckoning. But while they carved a plan into steel and sweat, someone else had moved first, deep in Jalim's center. Eyes watched through hidden cameras. The general smirked. "He's coming," he said. "Good." Because the trap wasn't being built by the rebels, it was already waiting for them. Lightning split the sky as a convoy rolled through Jalim's front gates. Disguised in stolen uniforms, the team kept their heads low, just another round of weapon inspectors on paper, but inside, each one carried death in their fists. Surveillance drones hovered, snipers watched from towers. One wrong step and they'd be erased. Still, they moved like shadows, silenced pistols, cracked necks. Terminals hacked with trembling fingers. One by one, doors opened. Security logs erased, guards vanished, asterisk asterisk.